Hey guys, and welcome to Otherworldly Wednesdays, where we talk about everything you need to know about astrology. New moons, full moons, we talk about portals, we talk about ascension energy updates, and what's going on in the collective. So, in today's video, we have a huge energy update. So much to talk about, and make sure you stay till the end because we will be pulling some cards and getting some messages about what you need to know at this time. So, first energy update we need to talk about is there is an upcoming new moon. Now, the new moon will be in the sign of Aquarius, and it will be at 2:53 p.m. Central Standard Time. So this new moon Aquarius is bringing in, it's on January 21st. It's bringing in logic. It's bringing in a lot of rationality. It's bringing in like spirituality meets practicality. It's bringing in head versus heart at this time, because there is an energy of we need to be in that logical, reasonable energy at times, more in the head, and there's an energy where we do need to drop into that heart center and listen to our heart. And not that we need to be all completely logic and shut off emotions at this time, but what's happening is we need to ground those energies down. It's almost like it's just calming it down. It's just not that it's pushing the emotions down, but it's bringing it back to more practical, realistic energies where we might have get lost in emotions and a little bit daydream and a little bit rose-colored glasses and stuff like that. And the Aquarius wants us to think before we act. Like, let's use some logic and reason to get out of the situation, head versus heart. That's going on with this new moon in Aquarius. So new energies are coming forth, a good time to set some intentions, what you want to work on in this moon cycle. So think about the next 28, 29 days, what you want to work on during this time. And the Aquarius, it might be a little bit challenging, but what's happening with this new moon is it's pushing outside of our comfort zone. It's really a good time to reflect. You might want to be writing things down. You could be journaling. You could want to make a pros and cons list, right? You could be weighing up decisions. There's also this huge energy that's in the air that's going on in the collective, and it's already kind of started, but this new moon Aquarius is going to push us to finally make the decision, because in the collective, there's just been this energy of we're at a crossroads, like big life-changing crossroads, not just well, do I want to do this or that? It's not something minor. It could be like moving to a new state, starting a new job, leaving a relationship, finalizing some paperwork, finalizing, maybe it's the end of a relationship, could be divorce, it could be where to go next. It's this huge crossroads energy that's going on in the collective at this time, and people have been stuck and they're trying to decide, well, which way do I want to go? What's right for me? And there could be that pull versus head versus heart. And so the Aquarius energy is kind of grounding it down into more practical reality, realistic energies of, what's really going on, allowing the energies to then move forward. And so I think the new moon Aquarius is going to allow us to finally make a decision. And it could be something we could have been sitting on for some time. It might have been something you've been weighing up for months. I'm not sure how long this has been in the energy for you particularly, but it does feel that we've been weighing up some options and weren't ready to pull the trigger and decide what to do. And the new moon in Aquarius is going to give us that final little push, right? It's going to give us that final little nudge to make the decision to go forward and what's best for you. So I also do want to talk about this new moon in Aquarius that happens to be on January 21st. So January 21st is actually a portal. So it's the 1-2-1 portal. We have it every year. We have the 2 ones on the outside, the new beginnings, right? Or 2 individuals. And the 2 in the middle, which is partnership, right? It can be soulmates. It can be, it's 2 energies coming together. It's balance. It's masculine and feminine. It's yin and yang. So we have the 2 energies coming together. So is the portal bringing the 2 energies into one, bringing in a union? If it's romance or business partnerships, that could be that. But what happens with this portal, there's a lot of new energy. It can be completely starting over, seeing things from a higher perspective. But it's like a new energy that wants to bring in better times, better days. So what I do want to talk about with this portal, though, is it's actually a little bit of a special portal because it's a 1-2-1-2-3 portal. So we have 1-2-1 as an angel number, and then we have 1-2-3 as another angel number. Now, next year we won't have that, right? So it's a little bit more highlighted this time. Is it a little bit extra special, right? It's a little bit more magical. We can tap into this energy because the 1-2-1, right? Where there's new beginnings. If we have the hope and faith and the balance and the trust in the middle with the 2, but the 1-2-1 is energies moving forward. Let's keep going. It's progressing. It always got to move forward. Even if there's a goodbye in that situation, there's a new start for somebody. Could be you. Could be the person you're with. Probably for both of you, because even if one door closes, another one opens. And so there is new energy of keep moving forward. It's progression, it's movement. So I think there is a lot of reassurance energy that's coming your way if you've been kind of stuck trying to figure out what to do next, what's the right decision for me, because this portal is very powerful. And the fact that we've got the 121 portal, the 12123, and the new moon all on the same day, it's like three energies like really magnifying each other. So it's like, oh, good luck. Finally. Ooh, finally. Ooh, finally. Also a good day to work with bay leaves. You guys can write down your intention, your goal, your manifestation, whatever you're working on, and then you could burn it to release it. Bay leaves are really good for manifestation, but I feel like this is like finally I have clarity, right? And so you know what to do, and things are progressing and things are going to move forward. So we do have this portal on the new moon. However, that's not the only portal this month. We got another portal right after it. We have another portal right after the 121. It's the 123 portal. So on January 23rd, again, we're going to have 1, 2, 3, tapping into those same energies. And since these are just days apart, you might want to have the same manifestations on the same day. So whatever you're trying to manifest on the 12123 portal, you might want to manifest on the 123 portal. And interesting enough, we are in 2023, so it's the 12323 portal. We're really tapping into those 2 3s. It's like nailing it in. It's like 1 2 3. Here I start again. Here's brand new energy. Yep, I'm ready. Let's go. But it's not just 1 2 3. It's 1 2 3. 2 3. Like, here it is again. Like, are you hearing it? Are you getting it? Like, let's throw in another 2 3. Again, as we talked about, 2 is being the balance and the unity energy. Like 3 is like joyous celebration, people coming together. It can be commitment, it can be community, it's stuff like that. And so it's almost like, here's the new start, and I needed balance, and now I'm excited about this brand new energy. And so allow this energy to keep going and keep going. It wants to bring in encouragement, it wants to bring in joy, it wants to bring in happiness, it wants you to keep moving, and there's a lot of encouragement. So even if you haven't been in a spot where you're trying to make a decision, this can be getting you out of a rut. It can be getting you out of a stuck place, maybe a negative mindset. Maybe you've been dealing with some depressive energies. But the 1 2 3 is like, let's go, like get out of bed, like time to go to work, like let's get things done. And it wants you to keep going. And so we have all these powerful days. So again, I would suggest doing those same manifestation techniques, because hammer it back in. Because just as that 1 2 3 and then 2 3s, hammering back in those 2s and those 3s, the portals are back to back, that you could do that same manifestation and really tap into those energies. Now, if you choose to manifest different things on that day, that's totally fine. There's nothing wrong with that. But just hammering them in and like stacking them on top of each other, right? So I'm going to do my new moon manifestation. I'm going to bring in my 1 2 1 portal and my 1 2 3, and you can have that all be one set manifestation and tap into the law of 3, right? Because you've got like those 3 energies there to really bring it in and bring it. It's going to magnify it. It's like magnifying that manifestation. So call it in on all of those days, bring in that energy, call it into you, okay? All right, so besides the portals and the moons, we got to talk about some planets. Man, last year we had so many planets retrograde, and some have ended. We're getting out of retrograde season, like finally, here it is. So let's talk about the first planets I want to talk about. Uranus ended. Uranus is ending on the 22nd. Ooh, it's right in between the portals, right? So Uranus went retrograde back on 8/24 and will end retrograde on January 22nd. But that's not the only planet ending retrograde. Mercury's ending retrograde on the 18th. Mars did end retrograde on the 12th. So that's 3 planets going back direct. But here's the good news. Here's the good news. Here's the good news. Once all these are done, so basically after the 22nd, when Uranus goes back direct, we're not going to have any more planets retrograde all the way till April. We will be retrograde free until April. So April 21st, Mercury will go back retrograde, which is normal. Mercury goes retrograde like 3 to 4 times a year. This is our lucky year, huh? We get Mercury retrograde 4 times. It's fine. It just happens, right? Sometimes Mercury only goes retrograde 3 times. This year, yep, we're so privileged. We get it 4 times. Anyways, but yeah, so we'll have a little break from retrograde season all the way till April 21st. Mercury will go back retrograde again. So let's talk about what these planets mean. Mercury retrograde, when it's ending, here's the good news. And I actually want to kind of talk about this a little with Mars, because Mars and Gemini and all this relationship stuff was coming up But Mercury symbolizes like what can happen during Mercury retrograde is communication can be wonky. It can be all of a sudden somebody you were talking with, like you just stopped talking, they ghosted you, you wanted a separation, or it can go the other way and all of a sudden the exes come back. Exes come back when Mercury goes retrograde. So if all of a sudden a former flame was sitting you up, want to connect, and all of a sudden they just stop talking to you after the 18th, well, it probably has to do with Mercury. They probably weren't really that interested in getting back together with you. It was more that those feelings start to come up in Mercury retrograde. Now, Mercury does have a post shadow, so there will be a week or two afterwards, about 2 weeks, that you may still be feeling some lingering effects of Mercury. Some people don't feel the post shadow and the pre shadow. I just want to throw it out there because if that ex or that former fling is still lingering around for a couple weeks, going into the beginning of February, that's what's going on, because that energies do happen to take place with the post shadow. So here's what's going to go on when Mercury goes back direct. Either that person who started hitting you up out of nowhere that you haven't talked to in weeks, months, or years may disappear, or if conversations kind of got stopped and it was like, well, we had a falling out, somebody ghosted me, like the energies are going to stabilize once Mercury goes back direct. So communication will be back open. There's no more of like guessing what's going on and I don't know, and you'll have clear-cut communication getting back to where you were before the retrograde. So communication will be cleared up. Now, why did I want to talk about Mars and Mercury kind of in that same energy? Well, Mars went retrograde in Gemini, and Gemini is all about love, right? Gemini actually relates to, in tarot, the Lover's card. And so in Gemini is communication. Like Gemini is communication. Gemini relates to Mercury. So they're kind of just a little bit all entangled there. So Mars is the planet of aggression. It's a planet of action. It's a masculine planet. And things might have been at a halt, a stop, or a very slow standstill. Mars kind of slowed everything down, kind of put plans on hold. It was a temporary delay. I think it's beautiful timing with the Mars retrograde because as we are now in the winter solstice is a time to go inward, reflect, introspection, and slow down and kind of get a grasp on reality and what you want to do as next step going forward. Mars retrograde and the winter solstice is not the time to plan and start anew and launch a business and do all these new energies. And so while we had Mars in retrograde since October 30th, Mars is going to go back direct, which is going to allow things to progress again. Beautiful with the progression energy because now we have the portals moving us forward. So Mars is really going to allow us new energies to start anew. It's not going to be going against the grain anymore. Sometimes Mars is retrograde, it's like this. But again, we don't have to fight it. Once we slow down and just kind of surrender to, okay, it's not time to plan and prepare. Kind of just slow down and take a moment. Then the energies don't have to go like this. So Mars, it's like, oh, money's coming in again. Dates are coming in again. Opportunities are coming in again. Things are going to start getting more fluid again now that Mars is going to go back direct. Actually, Mars already went back direct on the 12th. However, I did want to highlight this because, again, with the relationship, so any stuck patterns you may have been playing out in a partnership, in a romance, whatever it is, with Mars in retrograde, that can all be like canceled out, neutralized out, and things are going to stabilize now that Mars is going to go back direct. So again, communication may be lifted. You may be back on solid grounds. Can't even start over in relationships with this new energy, but I think there will be some clarity, some truth, some conversations, things finally getting back to where they were, maybe even a better standing. Or Mercury could be finally saying the goodbye with the exes as well. So Mercury and Mars, there's a lot going on with intimacy, relationships, romance, just partnerships in general. But whatever was at a standstill, because Mercury kind of like, oh, hold on, let's reevaluate, let's pause, And Mars doing the same thing around relationships. All of that is ending. So you can kind of, you'll have a clear head, a way clear head, and know what you want to do going forward. With a person, with yourself, a business, a collaboration, a partnership, anything like that. But I think those would talk about what's going on with those planets. Now Uranus, it's interesting. Uranus, I'm like, I feel like I'm sick of hearing about Uranus. Like, Uranus really wanted me. There was a lot of transits personally going on individually with Uranus, and it was really bringing a time to get us out of our comfort zone. Things were a little awkward. Uranus was bringing some challenges, energies. But again, all of these energies are being stabilized down and grounded back in and neutralized in so we can move forward. I honestly feel like Uranus, it's so funny because what I'm picking up on like right now is not what I was going to say, but Uranus, it feels like it's like an old played story. It's like it's over, it's done. I learned my lesson. So I think Uranus came there was a lot of growth that happened, but it kind of feels like that same old story. Like it's done. I don't have to play that record anymore. So when Uranus goes back direct on the 22nd, it feels like it's over and it's finally over. Old patterns, more personal development is what that feels like. All of that, like I can close the door. I learned my lesson finally. And sometimes individual, we have to learn that lesson. Like, we keep get that same pattern over and over and over until we learn that lesson. But you know, sometimes you learn that lesson. It's like, oh, I got burned really bad the last time. Like, I ain't going back in. But Uranus was actually bringing in growth. There's a lot of mindset shifts I'm picking up on that happened with Uranus and allowed us to transition into better versions of us. So it's finally like, okay, finally I learned that lesson. I'm done. That's why I'm like, man, I feel like I can't even talk about Uranus anymore because you probably have played out that same pattern over and over and over and over. And it's just like, I'm done. Like, Uranus, thank you. You finally showed me the lesson. I finally figured it out. I got it. Like, I want to move on. Like, I feel like there's this huge moving on energy. Like, I don't even need to talk about it. Not Uranus, but like what you've gone through, because it's like, okay, I'm so worn from this. It's drained me. It's completely done. Like, I get it. And there could be a hindsight 2020 energy with the Uranus, but it's played out where it's just like I'm this person got the best of me, or this energy drained me, or whatever it was. It's like, but it took through that. What I'm saying is you figured it out. You had that light bulb moment and you're able to move on. They're just like, there's no more reason to talk about this anymore because it's played out. It's done. It played its part. And I'm healing. I've healed. I've moved on. I get it now. So I actually feel like I want to say thank you to Uranus, even though it's like, I don't need to talk about that issue that Uranus taught me about, but it's almost like, okay, thank you. It might have been a harder lesson for some of you. It might be leading more into a light-hearted energy that you can kind of laugh it off going in the future. If you're not there anymore, or if you're not there yet, you will be, because I feel like Uranus, I want to be like, thank you, Uranus, right? But that's what all the planets are here to do. They all are here to teach us, like everything, all the energies. The people that come in, they're here to teach us and help us learn and grow and be better versions of ourselves. So all this stuff does happen for a reason, okay? Now, the last thing I want to talk about is what's going on with the chakras at this time, okay? Which chakras are being affected? Well, there's so much going on. I know I normally focus just on one chakra per moon cycle, but since we're doing a whole energy update, like a huge energy update today, I want to talk about like the upper chakras all being affected. So we're going to talk about the throat, the third eye, and the crown. Right now, the throat, there's a major healing going on with the throat. I've been feeling it collectively, like my throat chakra just closes up and then it opens and I can feel it. There's so much going on for me personally with the throat chakra. I can feel it individually. I literally was at like a group Reiki share last night, and like every person I worked on, it was like throat chakra stuff. It's been coming up big time in the collective about throat chakras. Blockages being removed, blockages being worked out, blockages needed to be addressed. People that have underactive throat chakras, finally time to get it back into balance, or maybe it's overactive and having some realizations about yourself. But the throat chakra, which makes totally sense because Mercury blocks communication or brings in communication from exes and stuff as temptations. And even with Mars, we're not able to get what we want. And we had to slow down and kind of sit on our hands. All this throat chakra stuff, it's healing. But what I want to do is say at this time, like really, this is the one that needs some soothing. Wear some light blues. Think the color of the sky. You can wear those colored clothes. You can meditate with those candles. You have any crystals that color. You have any incense, blue incense. You can do that at this time. So you could work with lapis, you could work with blue lace agate, you could work with aquamarine, you could work with turquoise, just some crystals if you want to work with that. But it's a lot of soothing. Like even if you start to feel like, oh, I have a little scratchy throat, we don't really feel sick, just gargle with some salt water. It's most likely a throat chakra block. I'm not saying you're not sick, but just these energies have been coming up. Again, around communication. This is the one that needs the most attention right now. Some hot teas, some warm beverages, stuff like that. You can even just warm up some water, put some lemon in it, stuff like that. But the throat chakra is going through like massive adjustments in the collective right now. So if you're noticing anything, you feel a little bit more worn, just take care of yourself. That stuff might be coming up with the throat chakra, and it's more coming up with the chakra than a physical sickness. But just, you know, sometimes it manifests as a little rough and scratchy. Like I can feel it now that I'm talking about it. Like I can tap into that energy right now. But throat chakra is the first chakra I want to talk about. Now, I also want to talk about the third eye and the crown. There's a lot of confusion energy going on in the collective. Confusion about yourself. What to do next? Am I in the right job? Did I make the right move? Should I be with this person? Is this friend really my friend? Did somebody betray me? Did somebody lie to me? There's all of this confusion. And again, going back to the head versus heart, that could be for some of you guys. It can be romance, doesn't have to do with it. It can be a family member. It can be your children. It can be work. It can be a boss. It can be so many things. But there's this confusion energy that's going on right now. And so we haven't maybe been seeing things clearly because we could be in denial, a story we could be telling ourselves. There could be manipulation going on. You could be dealing with a narcissist. There's so many different aspects of where the confusion can come from, because depending on your particular situation and what the details of your particular situation would see where the confusion is coming in. Are you confused about love? Are you confused about your friend? Are you confused about yourself? Like, what's going on? But I think the confusion is going on, and it's a little bit more upper chakras, because what I picked up on when I was kind of channeling on what was going on in the collective was with the brain, right? And so as we kind of say, the third eye could relate with the pineal, and the crown could be more pituitary. We're going to do the brain, so it's going to be upper chakras. And actually with the crown, the adjustments are needed. Adjustments are being adjustments are coming in. Adjustments are required. It's like the crown chakra. So what it is we're getting through the confusion energy and working with the brain a little bit because of all the collective energies. The brain is a little bit confused. And then the crown's going to come in and soothe it down with the white light, and it's adjusting the energy. So then we get that clarity. Then we get that breakthrough. Then we get that aha moment that I was kind of talking about earlier, where the energies get neutralized. The energies go more stable, so I can see things clearly, so I know that next step to make. So I do start moving forward with the 1, 2, 3 energies that we were talking about. So upper chakra stuff can be going on at this time. So what I want to say with this, if you're feeling confused about a person, a decision, a job, a relationship, or like whatever it is, it's not time to make a decision. It's a good time to just meditate, journal, reflect, like go inward and just pause. Because what's going to happen is right now, after we get to the confusion energy and we get to the more of the clarity and the adjustments kind of get worked out in the crown chakra, what's going to happen is you're going to see things clearly, that a decision you may make today may not be the decision you make next week or in 2 weeks or next month or whatever it is. So it's like, hold off, bite your tongue for a little bit. It's okay. Like, no decision is better than any decision right now, at least while that confusion energy is going on. But I'm telling you, with these planets go back direct, and we get out of the post shadow and we go through these portals, like after the 21st, you might feel a little bit more clear, a lot more clear. After the 23rd, you really could feel clear, but allow those energies to settle first, because one moment of clarity and you got it. Just sit with that. You might have been going with some confusion for the last few weeks. And so just hold off a little bit before you go make a huge announcement. Like, all of a sudden you're really excited and you want to announce the sex of your baby, but you realize you could have done a gender reveal party. And you're like, oh man, well, I was so excited, I like jumped the gun. Like, that's the energy of like, I'm getting out of confusion and all of a sudden I get my clarity and I'm excited. But if I just hold off, the energies will be grounded down and you'll know what to do. You'll know how to prepare. You know how to plan. You'll know what to do as those next steps. So allow the adjustments to be required, or the adjustments are required, and they're happening more with the crown chakra, which kind of brings the confusion out of the third eye and stabilizes the energy down. They're eventually all going to kind of be grounded down in with Mother Earth and going down to the crown and past. Going down to the root and past. But that even once you get that clarity, just kind of wait a moment before you go, like, it's like overzealous. I'm really excited. I want to go share all the stuff with everybody. Like Knight of Swords energy. It's not quite time. I think before I act. And it's good. You have some clarity. But I also think if you just wait just a little bit longer, maybe it's a couple days. Some of you might just be a couple hours, but or a couple weeks or wherever it's at. I feel you're going to be like, okay, I'm now have a more grounded approach to how I want to make this announcement. I now have a grounded approach of the news I want to share or whatever's going on. So that's why I just hold off a little bit, because once you get out of the confusion, it's like the adjustments are happening energetically up here with the crown. And it gets grounded down, and then you're like, okay, now I can share my good news. Now I can receive my congratulations. Now I can get the pat on the back or whatever it is that's going on with you individually. But I do feel there is adjustments that are needed to be adjustments that are required first. They're needed first before you go share any things that you're wanting to share, like congratulations, that type of stuff, the big news. So that's what's going on. Huge energy update. So much stuff going on. So I do want to end the reading. We're going to just grab a couple cards. You know, I'm not going to do a pick a card today. I think I'm just going to do like a collective little card pull and see what's going on. I've got my Work Your Light and my Starseed Oracle. So, okay, beautiful. I just got 2 cards from here. Let me get a couple cards from this deck as well. And then we'll just do like a mini kind of collective reading for everybody right now, since this is all like huge collective energies. A lot of ascension stuff coming in with these new energies too as well. The throat chakra stuff is happening also with the ascension, but massive energy update. Okay, beautiful. Okay, beautiful. I got 2 of each. Okay. Oh, so we got Akasha. Oh, this is beautiful. So your guidance is divinely guided. I love this. This is your Akashic record, right? This is your reading. So your story has already been told. Here's the thing. We have Akashic records. We can go in and go read your books, and you can find out what you're here to do on earth, why you chose to come here, all your fate and destiny. But because we have free will, the energies can kind of play out a little bit differently. You'll still have that soul contract of what you're here to accomplish, but when it gets accomplished and with who it gets accomplished with can change. But that overall lesson that you're here to learn, like let's say you had a soul contract to be a parent. Let's say you had a soul contract, you were going to be a veterinarian. Let's say you had a soul contract, you were going to live in a particular country. All of those will play out, but when you move to that country, when you become a vet, when you do all of these things, like when you become a mom, can be not exactly when it needs to, when you thought it was going to play out from the soul's perspective, because we have free will. Because, okay, well, I originally thought, I'd be married and have kids by 23, but it ended up being like 27 because of that free will energy. And it ended up being with a different person from the oversoul, a different person from the soul family, because we have free will. And so it may not be with that same person, place, or thing, but that particular life lesson, that particular soul contract will happen. So again, sometimes what happens is we get here on earth and we have these soul contracts, like two individual people, and they try to entangle, but it doesn't work. And instead of doing this, they end up doing this. So that both of the higher selves will get together and say, let's release that soul contract. Let's bring in another person. So then all of a sudden that another person comes in so you can learn that lesson with, right? But you'll still learn that individual lesson. So big soul contract energies are at play right now. We also have Anna, grandmother of Jesus. It says, seeding the light, laying foundations, divine plan. Trust in the universe, trust in the plan. Like literally, hold on, this is the new beginning energy. It literally says laying foundations, seeding the light. As we talked about the 1, 2, 3 energies, moving forward, moving forward, moving forward. This is not ending game. This is not closing. This is not done. This is a brand new start of something new, and trusting that it might take a little bit of time to the seeds, right? Think about when you plant a seed out in a garden. You have to water it, and you have to nurture it, and you have to wait for it to develop and grow. This is laying the foundation. This is laying that solid foundation so the house is stable and doesn't fall apart. This is a divine plan, right? I love that this one says your guidance is divinely guided, and this one says divine plan. So this is major soul contracts energies. This is your fate. This is your destiny. Trust in the process. Trust in the process. Trust in the universe. Things are playing out as they need to be at this time, and any adjustments that need to be made, your higher self is coming in to adjust the energies, but things are happening and they are progressing and they are moving forward. So this is like allowing the energies to happen, okay? I've also got 2 cards over here from the other deck. We have Messenger. It says serious energy, bringing harmony and balance. Oh, I don't know, that melted my heart. Okay, we've also got the blue flame. Oh, this is so beautiful. I can't wait to talk about this one. Spontaneous awakening, activation, integration time. Okay, Messenger. Let's talk about these individually. Messengers bring harmony and balance. This literally could be matters of the heart. This is emotional attachment. It could be with your child. It could be with your parents. It could be with a lover. But this is somebody that holds a very sacred place in your heart, because I can feel it. As soon as I said that, I was like bringing the harmony and balance, right? Could be you. Could it be bringing the energies back to self? It could be all about self-love. But I also think it's that inner harmony and balance. As we talked about the 1, 2, 1 portal, right? The 2 new energies on the outside, but the 2 in the middle. Harmony. 2s are harmony and balance. So at this time, right, it's bringing the harmony and balance back to yourself, back to a partnership, back to a relationship, back to a love interest, back to something. But the messengers is the news. Ooh, messengers are news. Watch out for birds. They might be coming in as spirit animals. But also messengers is communication, as we talked about the throat chakra blocked, as we talked about Mars and Mercury all ruling. That energy of messages coming in. So any blocked communication can be lifted at this time. There might be some clear-cut conversations, maybe some harder truths in conversations. But I think that once we get down to the root cause of what the issue is, that can bring the harmony and balance. So I do think this is a beautiful energy to be in. I can feel it in the heart chakra, meaning that it's bringing the harmony and balance back to whatever relationship was lacking the harmony and balance. It could be just self, right? But I do feel that it's not even just stabilized, it's back in that love vibration. So the other card we have is the blue flame. Like I said, it said spontaneous awakening, activation, integration time, okay? Could be a good time to work with the blue flame. Interesting. Love this. Beautiful. The blue flame is the 5th dimensional energy. Throat chakra. How do these cards just all go That's so amazing. They go hand in hand with each other. So call on the blue flame. Maybe you need to cut some cords. Like allow that the old to melt away, so it can bring in the new. Sometimes the old blocks the new from coming in. Work with the blue flame. Have it transmute energies. Have it alchemize energies. Let go of stuff. But what happens is it's also like we're waking up to stuff. Are we waking up to truths about ourselves, the divine plan, what we're going to do in the future, what we're supposed to do with another individual, what we're supposed to do with work, where we want to live, stuff like that, where we want to go next in life, what's the next step for me going forward, right? In a friendship, a partnership, whatever it is. But that's awakening to some kind of truth. It could be an inner truth. Activation. Okay, I feel good. I'm energized. I feel nourished. My cells, my soul feels activated and excited, and this joyous energy, as we talked about the threes. And integration time. Let's integrate all the lessons we've learned, so we don't have to repeat those same cycles. We don't have to repeat those same patterns, right? Uranus saying goodbye, but we don't have to repeat them. We've integrated them in. Shadow work could be coming in, but a great time to work with the blue flame. Any fifth dimensional energies. And I don't know. I know I said it, but I'll say it again. Cutting cords. Cut cords with the blue flame. Alchemize with the blue flame, right? Okay, guys. I think this is a beautiful place to leave the reading. I know the video is a little bit longer, but there was so much to go over. So thank you guys so much for watching. And if you got anything out of this video, do me a favor and hit that thumbs up button this way. I know you got something that resonated. If you guys haven't yet subscribed to my channel, make sure you hit that subscribe button. There's a bell too. You want to hit the bell and turn on all notifications. I don't want you guys to miss out on any upcoming messages. That next message just might be the message that you need to hear today. All right, my loves. Thanks so much for watching. Till